I'm Liz from Four Seasons Campers, and today we're going to be looking at the new California Ocean and taking it through its paces. What we're not going to be talking about is the size of the engine or the diameter of the exhaust. What we are going to be talking about is how good a vehicle, or bad, this really is for our customers to go out on hire and camping in. So here we are in the inside of the new California Ocean, and to start with we're going to have a look at the roof, which I have to say is much improved on many levels. First of all, let's open up the new roof hatch, which already you can see the sliders here sliding much easier than the other one, which was all concertinaed. If we go over here to the controls, your console has disappeared from here, and we're going to open up the roof. So little button here, we've also got both side doors open. So if we press once, and then it appears we have to press 3 times to do this, and then pressing here. What are the new improvements? Well, you can see first of all it's a different fabric again. VW changes the fabric of their roof canvas every year, and I have to say it becomes more and more waterproof each year. You can see here there's a new seam, which in Scotland we unfortunately have horizontal rain, so from time to time we will maybe get 0.1% of our customers will have an issue with a little bit of leaky rain in the old one. This now solves this problem for us, covers up the seal where the zips are. Fantastic, well done VW. So looking at the inside, you can see that larger space as described on the outside, so definitely room for you to have 2 of you sleeping up there. I should mention at this point that the roof is slightly narrower upstairs. It is actually 120 centimetres it was previously to 114, but still over 2 metres long, so much longer than any of your converted vehicles. And the other thing to note as well, before we used to have 2 lights at the rear, whereas now you can see up here and at the back here we've got the 2 lights, one each end, so that you do have a reading light both ends. Before, we've got these amazing springs on the top bunk, making it super comfy. Final thing to note is we now have an absolutely huge net window, perfect for lying here and looking at a gorgeous view or wonderful sunset if you're lucky. The next fast improvement is actually on turning this front driver's seat round. Previously we would have had a handbrake down here, but in the new model we've now got the push button start, which means you've got nothing to stop this driver's seat going round. I'll show you. All you have to do is pull forward, just put this armrest up, pull this seat forward so that it doesn't bump into here on the way round. Keep your armrest on the other side down. Just put it forward a tiny bit more, and then there's just a little lever here to pull around, and that's your driver's seat round. Super comfortable. Here we are on the rear of the new California. You'll see that instead of the old bench seat, which was quite a bit higher up, my legs being small tended to dangle a little bit, you've got 2 super comfy seats here, which are much easier to put down into a bed. Underneath these seats you've got a little bit of storage, but you've got 2 of these drawers. It is a lot less than the big drawer that you previously had. And then over here, underneath each of these seats, you've got a little handy drawer there as well on both of these seats. The other thing to note before we show you these sliding down into the bed is you can see we've still got the runners here for the chairs to come forward. You can actually take these seats out. They weigh 20 kilos. So if you were just 1 or 2 of you going away, what you could do is take one of these, leave it at home if you're going to be sleeping in the top bunk, and put your paddleboard down in the middle. Loads of options. Let's take a look at how we put the bed down. First of all, we've got this super easy to use lever, pull it up and slide along. So you can see, up and slide along. Let's take the headrests off and then just pop them back in so they're safely out the way. And then this one. seat down. Put forward a bit first. Drop the seat down. And then lower into position. Just come out and do this one. Move these seats slightly further back in. And then, in one simple, swift and easy move, we will pull the mattress top over. And here is your bed. So there we go. Slightly smaller than the one before, I think 6 centimetres less, but still plenty of room for 2 adults to sleep here comfortably. One thing to note while we're here, this overhead locker is actually increased in size. If I just show you, we'll open it just now, okay? So you can see a much bigger storage unit here. However, downside is you can no longer sit up in bed over there. While we're here, another great little improvement here is this fantastic little storage compartment. You can see there, Kate, great for your clothes and things. If, however, you decide you do not want to use it, it could not be easier. Just pull it away, and there you go, you still have your old window back. So, what has all the noise been about and the bad press about the new VW California? Well, it's the kitchen. So, let's have a look. If you open up this top here, you can see 1 hob, not 2, and a much smaller sink. If you look under here, your storage is pretty limited. Previously we had a nice double unit here. Now we have a small section here, we've got a smaller drawer unit here, and you've got your electrics in here with your 3-pin plug, your USB and your European fitments in here. Whilst underneath we have a pull-out fridge. 3 litres less in size than the previous model. However, I think it offers plenty of room. Not only does it offer plenty of room, but it actually does help with one of the issues in the last Campervan model. Previously, you had your fridge here with an open top surface here, which is great until you start trying to lay things on that surface and suddenly you run into a problem. If you're trying to cook, you are constantly having to move things around. The other thing you'll notice that's missing here is your slide-out table. And again, lots of press about, oh, I want my slide-out table back. Well, guess what? You have it, and I'll show that later. You do have a slide-out table, and you actually have 2 slide-out tables, which we'll go through shortly. The other thing to note while we're in this position is some storage here as well, which I would suggest is your kitchen storage. So really you're losing one part of your kitchen storage, which we will come back to, and I'll show you in a later video how we fit all our things in the new California. Here we are on the passenger side of the new California, and you will notice this little sneaky table in here. So I'm going to lift it up. It's got a little, exactly the same kind of fittings as previously. I'm going to slide this leg down and simply pops in here so that if you are having a barbecue outside, you can use this, and it's not raining. Beautiful day in Scotland today. It's all good for using as a surface. However, it's multi-purpose. So, or you can have the table here. Fantastic for chopping your vegetables at your kitchen sink and being able to cook, and as I said before, going into your fridge. Alternatively, you've got a little table here for your passenger side seat with the person on the other side able to use this, meaning that you don't have to have that sliding table, which was really tricky to get underneath to get your tea and coffee, etc. out. In my opinion, a much better design. Let's take a look at the camping gear. My favourite part when I show our customers going out and hire has to be the camping chairs in the boot. Always brings a wow. So, what's the difference here? Well, I have to say, I've always thought the quality of these chairs is absolutely brilliant. So they haven't changed anything here, bar making this seat rest here slightly higher, so much more comfortable. Let's have a look over here now at where the table is. So previously, if you remember, we had the additional table in the sliding door. This has now moved over into the back here, which I'm just going to pull it out and you can have a look. So our table is here. Before, apart from you had a slightly longer neck round here, but seats 4 people easily. Well, we're in the back here. Let's have a look in this little cupboard here. So, slightly smaller cupboard, you can see. Hasn't got the useful sliding door. It does have these little cups here because we've moved the water tank from the side here over into this area. So you've got your little cups there. Make sure you don't spill anything. You've also got, as standard, your shower fitment here. So a cold shower, because it is only cold water, great for spraying dogs, sandy boots, whatever, and you've got your shower fitments just sitting in here. Have a look, Kate. There we go. And finally in the rear space. So previously we had the gas sitting in here, which was quite tricky to get in and out of, whereas now we have this great easy to open door, your camping gas just in there. One thing we haven't looked at is the blinds. So vast improvement. We are delighted, VW. Thank you so much for this improvement in your blinds. So we just clip this one in here. You can see fabric much more robust. I have to say the whole campervan feels much more robust. When I started my hire company 10 years ago, I nearly didn't rent out the California just because I was worried about breakage. As it is, they have kind of stood the test of time. However, we are delighted with the finish of all the materials this time round. The other thing that they've improved on is you did have a blind that pulled into the centre here previously. We always told our customers not to use it just because actually it let light in to start with, and also if you unclipped it, it would spring back and again tear, rip easily. They've changed that to give this little, or rather large, tent much nicer, more robust material. It is a tent base, which I have to say, jury's out on this one. I think if it was me, I would kind of make the poles up. It kind of just sits internally across here. I'd make them up in advance, or I would just use one of the normal thermal blinds that we actually use for our customers. Added extra we have, apart from obviously your child safety net, is this ventilation bit here, which I have to say, living in Scotland, I thought, why are they giving these two bits of material for us to keep in the van? But I guess if you are in Europe and travelling around, a great addition, because it will get hot in these snug little vans. So great addition if you're in Europe, or if you're in Scotland on a day like today. You'll notice here that we've got the awning on the other side, so brilliant for UK customers that you can have it on your passenger side now. You've also got the option, as VW have put in up their marketing, that you can actually have 2 awnings if you wanted to. So you could have 3 rooms effectively. Your sleeping area, your kitchen area on this side, and your living area on that side. A great point one of my customers made to me recently was that when you get to campsites, quite often they have to say you park this way, that way. This means you can have your awning on either side. Great versatility. And finally, another point on versatility. You can see here as we come back into your kitchen area and your living area, you've got this little table can go around this side, or alternatively, you can put your table, your picnic table, will slide in. If you just come over here, Kate, I'll show you the little parts here. So this simply slides in to your kitchen and you have your sliding table back. Summary. Would I hire or buy a new VW California Ocean? Absolutely yes. Not only does it offer the most luxurious drive of your life, it has flexible accommodation